Plaintiff Brett Johnson says when he first started dating the defendant, she was going back and forth between him and her ex. Brett claims they eventually decided to be exclusive, but 3 days after he loaned her $500, she left him for another man. He's suing for the unpaid loan. Defendant Sarah Arundale says her relationship with Brett was dysfunctional, and she has several emails he sent her in which he called her names and told her to kill herself. Sarah insists the $500 from Brett was a gift.
Start with you.
Your Honor, Sarah's my ex-girlfriend, and we met in 2011 through a mutual friend on Facebook, and we really hit it off. But she did let me know that she had an unconventional living arrangement at the time, which should have been my first red flag that this girl was going to break my heart.
How so? What was her unconventional living arrangement?
She lived with her son's father and her then boyfriend.
At the same time?
That's correct, Your Honor.
The boyfriend lived there?
Yeah.
And the father of her child lived there?
That's right.
Along with her?
That's correct, Your Honor. Yeah.
Is this true?
That's correct.
I mean, to each his own.
No,
that's how you get
not
out?
true.
Huh?
I was living with my father, my child's father, yes, and that's it. So, but we weren't technically together in a romantic
was
relationship.
he staying there?
No.
Why you say that?
Well, he had a bed in the basement, and
is that true?
No.
You saw all that?
Yeah.
Why'd you just move in? Save you some rent. Put you a cot right next to the bed in the basement. The boyfriend lived there?
Yeah.
And the father of her child lived there?
That's right.
Along with her?
That's correct, Your Honor. Yeah.
Is this true?
Right.
Defendant Sarah Arundale is being sued by her ex-boyfriend, who claims 3 days after he loaned her $500, she left him for another man.
So how did it go, though?
Well, she did tell me that she was in the process of breaking up with that boyfriend. So that gave me hope. And after just 2 weeks of knowing each other, we went on a bicycle trip across the state of Iowa with tens of thousands of other cyclists. And you camp out every night. And there's plenty of opportunities to get to know each other, so if you know what I mean. But a few days after coming home, she informed me that she and her boyfriend were going to try to make it work out after all. So I respected that, and I didn't pursue her, but we kept in touch, and over about 6 months later, we decided to date exclusively. And we had a tumultuous relationship. We also had a lot of good times together, too, like the time we went to New York City to sell Christmas trees. But about 1 week after we got there, she decided we weren't getting along, and she bought a bus ticket to Ohio to meet another guy that she only knew online. So she went out to Ohio, and I was hurt because we were about to celebrate her 30th birthday in New York City, and I was looking forward to that. And but
where were you all? You were going to take her through Central Park?
Exactly.
Walk through the park. That's a very cherished thing to do. Go ask Harold to bring my phone. Okay. I did that yesterday with my son.
Oh.
And I'm going to tell you the text I sent him and the text he sent me back. We walked through Central Park together, just he and I. I got 4 children, and just he and I went together to New York to see a fight, and we walked through Central Park, and it was almost romantic. But it was such a cherished moment. And you let him miss out on that, and you missed out on it.
Well,
how did it end, the Central Park deal or the New York deal?
Your Honor, she came back to New York after about 2 weeks, back into my arms, and she told me she'd been living in the wilderness in a cabin that was infested by mice. So we made up, and we ended up having a good time in New York for Christmas and New Year's, and it ended up being a good trip. Overall.
Well, let me read to you what I said. I say to him this morning, I said, there's a song called Walking in the Rain with the One I Love. I said, well, I walked through the park with the one I love. LOL, laugh out loud. I say, honestly, it was a great time with you and me. Memories we'll never forget. Don't mean to be mushy, just wanted you to know how special those times are for your dad.
Wow.
Love you, nice. Boy.
Oh, that's great.
His response. His response is, ha ha, man. He said, ha ha. Oh, man, such a great weekend. I was just telling Nenea how great it was to just hang out with you one-on-one for a bit. Thankful for all the special memories with you. I truly appreciate everything you do for me. Love you.
Wow.
That's
Great
my son.
response.
That's awesome. See, you could have been getting that. How touching that was, you could have been getting it. Now y'all walk away mad with each other from New York. Next time, take her through that park. Me and my son were mad the night before. We went there for the boxing match, and his man lost and my man won. He was mad, and I took him through the park. And you saw what happened.
Yeah.
Give me some background.
Your Honor, we're here because the plaintiff is basically just still not over me. We met in June 2011, and since then we've been in an on and off relationship, which has been pretty toxic. At one point during our off times, he sent me a bunch of emails calling me names and even telling me I don't deserve to live, I should kill myself, and he can't wait till I die. And so here are those emails right here.
Let me see those.
Thank you.
Call it a C word? You say, I hate you? Backstabber? You call her a hooker? All my apologies were fake? I wish I never heard your name?
Well, obviously it was a dysfunctional relationship, and I didn't see that at the time until I started scrolling through everything recently. But yeah, so at one point we did get back together. He was a lot of fun, and he exposed me to a lot of cool things. But he is extreme in everything that he does.
Extreme love, you're right.
Yep.
Tell him about all the favors you asked of me over the years after you broke up with me.
And he lives with his parents, and so he doesn't really have any responsibilities. Everything is a joke to him. And I just needed somebody more serious who was going to provide and not be gallivanting around the country all the time, and he couldn't do that.
What do you mean by around the country? He couldn't stay stable? Is that what you're suggesting?
Correct. Yeah, gallivanting
Go ahead,
around the
sir.
country. We've been in an on and off relationship, which has been pretty toxic. At one point during our off times, he sent me a bunch of emails calling me names and even telling me I don't deserve to live, I should kill myself, and he can't wait till I die. And so here are those emails right here.
Let me see those.
Defendant Sarah Arundale is being sued by her ex-boyfriend, who claims 3 days after he loaned her $500, she left him for another man.
Tell me why you're suing her for this $500.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess in 2016, she decided I wasn't so bad after all, because we got back together and she asked me to move in with her. And not only that, she asked me for $500. She had medical bills piling up, and I didn't want her to get behind on her mortgage. And I loved her, so I wrote her a check right then and there.
What was the agreement, though? When was she to repay you?
But knowing how capricious she is and how she has a history of jilting lovers on a whim, I said to her at the time, I gave her the check, if you leave me for someone else, you got to pay me back.
Immediately.
And she agreed to it.
Or at all?
There was no time. But like, we can argue whether or not she'd need to pay me back if she left me 3 months or 6 months later. But as it turns out, she left me 3 days later. I could tell something was wrong, and I confronted her about it. And she kicked me out of the house, out of her house, for a real petty reason. She went back with the man who she was with right before me, and she later got pregnant by him.
Ma'am, what do you say about this loan? The terms of the loan, if he did.
There were no terms.
Was it a loan or not?
He gifted me $500.
So it wasn't a loan.
No,
Did
it was not a loan.
Do you not
Sir,
remember when I
how-
said to you, point blank, if you leave me for someone else?
No.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, she's denying it. You have any evidence that it was a loan? It's your word against hers at this point. And your extreme love for her leads me to believe it was a gift.
Your Honor, I recognize.
You have any proof?
Your Honor,
Do you have any evidence?
well, I'm counting on her to tell the truth.
All
She's
right.
under oath.
Keep counting on it, right?
She
Keep counting on it.
every time I confronted
But
her.
come back when she does.
When I
all right?
confronted her.
Today she's not. Come back when she does. Your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
Thank you. I would have hoped that you would, since you're under oath, that you would have told the truth, but apparently not even under oath will you.
And I did tell the truth, and all I want is for you to leave me alone now, because I have a family and a life, and this happened 3 years ago, and you just need to get over it and move on with your life.